What the heck? What is this? A V8 Titan? Nissan? 2005? And it needs brakes? Fronts and backs? All right. Well, let's do it. Hey guys, Holty Bread here. And you heard it. 2005 Nissan. Gotta do some brakes. It's winter time. We're in the garage. Had to stuff this sucker in here. She's a little tight. Not a whole lot of room, but we got to get it done. Because stuff is grinding hard up front, and it sounds ugly. So let's get her done. All right, first thing we're going to do is jack this thing up. Get it up in the air so we can take tires off. Perfect. I don't know if you can see this or not, but hey, we're jacking her up. We're doing it. We're doing it. This baby's heavy. She's got some weight to it. Heavy duty rock and roll. Ooh. Watch the paint. Oh, there's one. I just figured it out. I had it on number 1. Yeah. Got her. All right, so what we're gonna be taking off here is this bolt and that bolt. Right down here. Just like that. I just pried it out this way. Get yourself something to hang it up with so it doesn't drop and mess up your brake line. I usually use this copper because it's really flexible. And you can just hang it up wherever you want. Use it hanging up off of here. Let's go off of this upper control arm. Wrap her around a few times. There. We gotta get this bracket off yet. Because in order to get this rotor off, you gotta get this bracket off. So let's do that. So what I'm gonna use is 21. I can get it on the bottom one. Put it on the right way. I can get it on there. There, if I can get it on the bottom one. All the elements up here in Minnesota. Get a little room. Hopefully I can get this off with this. I had these off before. All right, there's one. Here we go. All right, let's take a look at the pads. Sounded pretty bad. Oh yeah. There's not a whole lot of pad on there. I mean, you can still use it, but, you know, I mean, this isn't even the bad side. It's a little shattered there. The other side is worse. I mean, that's where the sound is coming from. So there's a little bit of meat left. Not much, but, yep, that sucker's heavy. Ah, there we go. All right, let's see the wear. Deep. Look at that groove. Look at that groove. I don't know if you can see that or not. It's about an 1/8 inch. Pretty deep. I mean, yeah, they were working. I could probably turn them again. I mean, look at that. There's a lot of meat there. They look like they're probably new. And this side's fine. I know that there's a ridge there, but not bad. Well, this is the pack that I got. I bought front rotors, pads for front and back. Got it from Detroit Axle on the eBay. And let's have a look, shall we? Let's see what we got. Okay. So as you can see, it's a little snug in here. Not much movement. I can't move. I can't do nothing. Here we go. Let me in. Let me in. All right. What do we got? We got some pads. I'm guessing these are probably the backs. These are probably the fronts. Guessing. And a little protection in case you needed it. I'm sure these things were thrown all over the place. And we got our rotors. Looks like fronts and backs right there. So hopefully everything fits. We'll bring it over there and see. One thing to note is on these 2005 Nissan Titans, and I didn't even know this until I bought these brakes, is there must have been a change in between that year, because mine was built in 5 of 2005, and when I bought these, they said they were asking if your vehicle was built before March of 2005 or after March of 2005. So you got to look. I'll show you where to look. Look right here. And it says right there the date, 505. So you got to know that. I guess they changed must be the size or something. I don't know, but just a heads up. So what we got here, we got the fronts. You can tell the fronts by how thick they are. And I can't tell if these are the fronts or backs for the pads. I think those are the backs. And I believe these are the fronts. Looks like it gives you new hardware, which is kind of cool. Sliders. New sliders. And these are the backs, because they're pretty thin. I mean, look at that, it's just solid piece. And I know my backs were trashed, if you can see in there, but there is a heavy groove on there. I've never changed these brakes. I bought this thing used, so 5 years ago. So anyway, this kit's pretty cool. 200 bucks on eBay. Detroit Axle. 2005 Nissan. It looks like here's the numbers if you need them. I don't know. Where's the other one? His part number here. And part number here, if you need it. All right, one thing you're really going to want to do when you get something new like this is compare. Like take a look at what you got and what you just bought. So we'll do a side-by-side just to make sure everything's right before we can slap it on the vehicle. Yeah, let's make sure it's got the right amount of holes in it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Looks the same. Same diameter. Let's even got a stamping in the side. Look at that, Detroit Axle. This is pretty, seems pretty decent. Make sure they're the same height. Thickness looks the same. Everything about them looks the same, as far as I can tell. Get this thing, there we go. Stand up. Everything looks the same. So I'm gonna clean it off with some brake cleaner. I always do that before you put your shoes on. And clean off the surface. Slap them on and get her done. Like a glove. All right. As far as how these things go on, it looks like they just snap right in. Let's just pop right off. Yeah, it looks like they just pop right off. And then clean the garb off. And they just pop, it'll just pop right in. All right, here's the old one. Here's the new one. So they look identical. So we should be able to just pop it right back on. Try to get it even. Oh yeah. Just pops right in there. Pretty sweet. There. Mint. There we go. One thing that's kind of cool about this kit too is gave you this little grease pack, and I don't know if you can see it or not, but on the grease pack it tells you where the grease is supposed to go. There's instructions on the grease pack. I'm digging it. So anyway, it says put the grease on the sliders on the pad, which is, I gotta take the pad out, I'll show you. Anyway, you can probably put some in here too. I mean, that's where the sliders go on both sides. Grease in there, grease there. And just so the pads slide in there real good, that's all it's for. Let's take a look at what we got here. So far, I'm pretty impressed with this kit. It's both sides. So I'll put these other ones over here. And you got one with your metal, lets you know when your pads are getting down there. And I didn't see, I gotta see where, anyway, so put some grease on the slides, you know, here and here, or in the slides. And then it also says put some on the back, like here, where that must be where the caliper piston's gonna be hitting, just for noise. So yeah, so you can either use this or anti-seize, but as long as this came with the kit, I might as well use it. See what it looks like. it's just brown. So just gonna put it in there. All right, we can look at the old brakes. I took them out. I usually set stuff down the way that it came out, and that way I know when I go to put the new ones back in, how they're gonna go back in. We see that this piece of metal here, that's there to let us know that the brakes are too small. Brake pads are too low, because the metal actually rubs. When you get down so low, it actually rubs on the rotor itself. That's where you get that squeak from. And this one is almost there. So I have a little bit of life left in these. The other sides are really noisy. It's actually grinding. So anyway, they came off like this. We know that this goes to the inside. So this was like this. This goes on like that. This stuff here, get some. Put it on everything you take off. So this just goes up like this. Goes over here. Make sure that's flat. It slides in like that. Throw your bolts in. There you bolt. Hit them with the Ugga Duggas. I usually just, stuff like this that you don't want to come off, there's a torque spec for it. One I usually use is just as tight as you can get it, because those are some big bolts and you're not going to break them. I mean, if you're using a breaker bar you might, but I'm using a 1/2-inch drive ratchet, and I mean, go ahead and use the torque specs. Honestly, I would, but I know this is tight enough, so that's how I do it. There we go. It ain't going nowhere. All right, so we got the one we needed. So this just slides right on in. Try not to get your fingers all over the brake pads. Pops into place. Get my head out of the way, maybe you can see. There we go. Where it is? Oh, here it is. Maybe not. So this is how I do it. I don't know if it's the right way or not, but this is how I do it. Is you take my cap off of my master cylinder, because when you compress this piston, you got to compress it because it's got to go over these. So you got to compress it all the way in. I'm going to grab a vise or a clamp, show you how to do that. But it's going to press this fluid out this way. And if you leave the cap on, it's going to blast through that cap. Ask me how I know. So what we got here is two pistons, two piston caliper. Okay guys, I wasn't able to get this on camera because it took me so damn long to do it. Anyway, what I did was, it's got two pistons. I squeezed this one in until I got it to fit over the rotor, put the top on, put the screw in to hold it in place, and then this is kind of sticking up like this. So then I put the clamp on the bottom one. I squeezed it in until it fit over, then I was able to pop her down. Now I'm just gonna put some anti-seize on the bolts, tighten her up, and fronts are done. That's it for the front, guys. Just tighten up that bolt and that bolt. Make sure your other two bolts are tight. And that is it for the front brake pad rotor replacement. So throw a tire on, and we'll move on to the back. Looks like it's this one, and there's one below, right there. Just like that. There it is. All right, so this is what we got. Got our new rotor. Got our parts. Looks like some sliders, some grease, and our pads. Cool. Same deal. Spray this thing down and get some of that gunk off there, and then slap this back together. And we'll just knock these bad boys right off. Just like that. Nothing to it, eh? Clean up the area. Get more crust out of there. Tap on the new ones. Make sure it's even. Something like that. Yeah, that's all the way on there. Slap this bad boy back on. Throw a lug nut on there to hold it in place. Put another one on. Maybe. There. Oh, it doesn't move around a whole lot on you. All right, let's see what we got. We got the clips on, or the This be a set. That must be a set. So it looks like pads are just toast. There's just nothing left. It looks like they kind of just slide on there. But there is just nothing. I mean, it looks like this kind of just pop in that way. Let's pop out the same way. There. Yeah, there is just nothing left. Look at that. I mean, there's just like just a sliver left. Anyway, just gonna take it off and put it down the same way I took it off, so I know how to put the other ones on. And this one looks like it just kind of pops. Looks like it just kind of pops into the piston. Yep. Nice. Nice and easy. I might have to push this piston in a little bit to get it out. There we go. So it's like that. I usually don't put too much force on it. I'll just push it until, you know, you feel it stop. And bring it on back. That way you don't go too far with it. It's gonna push fluid. Definitely gonna push fluid out of your master cylinder. I could have probably drained some with the, but my turkey baster isn't working that great. So that's just the way it is. It's gonna make a little mess. And there it is. Sauce them up. Don't forget, these babies get all the salt and grime. Anyway, they push right out of the boot. Just push right out. And they need to be greased. And this one had some corrosion on it. So I actually sanded it a little bit. I'm gonna pop some grease on there and then I'm gonna push it back in. I'll show you. So I'm just gonna take a bunch of grease, slather it on there real good. Doesn't matter if you get it inside or outside or whatever. Just grease that sucker up. Get a little bit in there. Oh. Side there. Let's try and stuff some in there, whatever. Because those need to slide. This thing needs to slide. It needs to slide in and out. Otherwise your pads are gonna wear unevenly. So that's what that's about. But you just start it in there, and you just push it through. Take it to the other side, pop it through, and And that's it. But now, I'll show you that you can slide that thing. Look how easy this moves now. See that? You need that to move easily. You need it to move like that. Otherwise, you're, this one's still kind of tough. We need them to move. They need to be able to move. Because if they don't, like I said, you're gonna get some uneven wear. So grease them up. There you go. Also, I put some grease on the piston and on inside in here. Any place where there's gonna be contact, throw a little grease in there. There we go. That's what I'm doing wrong. Sometimes you just gotta stop and take a peek. See what the heck's going on, eh? Connect here first, and then go that way. And that's gotta be that way. There we go. This should just snap right into place, just like that. But you go into the top first, and this snaps in there, and the spring actually holds it in place. Pretty cool. Let's find the bolts. A little grease on them. Grease or anti-seize, whatever you prefer. I got both on there. Honestly, when it comes to stuff like this, it's never enough. I mean, you don't want to get grease on your brakes, obviously, like I just did, but I'll clean it off. That's what brake cleaner's for, right? That's what brake cleaner's for. So, just tighten her up. Wanted to show you guys something. When you take that caliper bracket apart, these should slide really good. These are what your caliper bolt to, and they come apart. All you gotta do is just hold onto the sleeve, hold the center, slide the sleeve off this rod here, and they pull right out. Just put a crap ton of grease on there. Slide her back in. Slip that over. And just make sure they move good. Should be nice and spongy. This one moves a little better. This one might have some air in it. Yeah, it's got a little air in it. Got a bunch of grease in there. This one. Just make sure they move good. Pack them full of grease. Put them back together. Make sure they slide really good. That way your pads, you know, should wear evenly. Guys, do it for this video on 2005 Nissan Titan. And front brakes and the rear brakes. It went pretty smooth. It wasn't too bad. I found a few more problems that I didn't know I had, like a wheel bearing, and I got a nail in my tire, so that's great. Got more stuff to fix. It's always something. Appreciate you watching. Make sure to hit that like, subscribe button, and we'll see you soon.